Hello, welcome to this week's edition of the program Issues of the Moment on MBS TV. My name is Gospel Ede, your host on the program. And on today's edition of the program, we'll be looking at issues surrounding the demise, the passage of the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away on Thursday, the 8th of September, 2022. So we shall be analyzing, reviewing situations surrounding her death and the implication of her demise to the economy and the politics of the Great Britain, the Commonwealth nation, and every other nation that the Queen, has supremacy or superintend over them as a leader. And so, with me in the studio this morning to do justice to the topic at stake is Mr. Danladi Ayiwulu. He is a former senior lecturer with the Department of Physical Planning, Issa Mustafa Agwe Polytechnic Lafia here in Nasarawa State. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, like I told you, he is my guest, and my name once again is Gospel Ede. Together, we shall be looking at the issues surrounding the demise of the Queen of Great Britain, Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth II is the 12th monarch of Britain since the 1707 unification of the English and Scottish kingdoms as Great Britain. She is also the third woman and the longest serving monarch after Queen Anne in 1702 and Queen Victoria in 1837. Actually, out of the 11 that ruled before her, she is the third person to be a woman and eventually the longest serving in the history of that kingdom. She served on the throne for over 70 years. And she actually passed out at the age of 96. And these are some of the basic information you need to know about the Queen. As we speak, a new king has emerged. That is her son, who was the crown prince, who is now known as King Charles. He used to be Prince Charles. Now he is King Charles III. He is on the throne of his forefathers or ancestors, taken after his mother, the Queen Elizabeth II. So we're going to be going into details of this discussion with my guest, who is already seated and waiting for the fireworks. Once again, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. On Thursday, September 8th, like I said, that is in 2022, Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain passed on at the age of 96 after a 70-year reign. So as a citizen of the Commonwealth nations, Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth nations, how would you react to this end of an era?
So thank you very much for having me, and I would like to make a correction before I attempt to answer your question.
Right.
I work with the Department of Physical Planning, that is the environment, before I resigned to pursue my political career. So I have to put the record straight. The Queen Elizabeth II, passed on the 8th of September.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of reactions from all walks of life, from different quarters, even from Nigeria. I want to start from Nigeria. You could hear an American-born Nigerian who served as a professor at the university reacted and passed some very derogatory statements about the demise of the Queen. She said she wished the Queen an excruciating death, which I know that is not good to pass, excuse me please, to pass a derogatory statement on the dead. And also, here in Nigeria, Senator Shehu Sani, from the former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, said they have a different perspective about what happened, about the demise of the Queen, that the Queen have done her best. And equally, a lot of people from the North said they were so happy with the Queen because she has paged them, made them to have an advantage over the South in Nigeria. So people from the South are not so happy with the Queen, and the people from the North are happy with the Queen because the Queen placed the North above the South. Now, you see, there are a lot of things surrounding her death. Just as I told you, there are a lot of leaders all over the world. We have Tony Blair, we have the likes of Donald Trump, who said among all the women, there is nobody as great as Queen Elizabeth, the monarch that passed on the 8th of September. You see, there certainly will be a lot of reactions. That marks the end of an era. It's just because, during her time, it marked a lot of, that was the time colonization was at its peak, because she was the person that was the head. During her time, most of African countries were colonized. So a lot of people will certainly give a lot of reactions, negative reactions, derogatory statement, because she passed on, because we were all her subjects. So basically, whatever we say today is just for history, for historical purpose. We cannot change the narrative because what has happened has already happened.
Okay, in that case, if people were passing such kind of derogatory statement on the person of the Queen, why was it not said when she was alive until when she passed on?
You see, human beings sometimes, because
I am asking this question because even at the point that we are talking, at the point of her death, most of these nations have already gotten their, in fact, almost all the nations have gotten their independence, except for few.
Yeah, actually almost all have gotten their independence. You see, most of the time people speak at the back of people. Well, I expect that all these statements are supposed to be made when she was alive. Because just like the Professor Ujo Anya, who made that derogatory statement, though a lot of people supported her arguments, and while some, are not so happy with her because the casting of aspersion on the leadership or the position of the Queen like that, it is not actually so good about that. So I believe that whatever you want to say, when somebody is alive, that is the time you make comments, you make corrections. If some of the derogatory statements or some of the obnoxious statements are being made today, they said it when she was alive, she could have, give a statement or say why things were done like that. But now that she has passed on, I don't think somebody can be able to explain better what has really transpired.
Okay. Okay, now, as an individual, as a person, I'm talking about Mr. Danladi Ayiwolo now.
Yes.
What is your, sincere judgment about her person, her rulership, and the role she played in Britain, in the global community as a person?
Yes, personally, the role she has played, that's so significant. They cannot be overlooked because as a leader who is the head of the Commonwealth, she has done a lot, even though a lot of people might not be so happy. But I felt she has done her best. Everything now is left for posterity to judge. Whether she has done the right thing or she has not done the right thing, what has happened is history. Posterity will judge whatever she has done.
Any lesson to learn from the length of time she lived as a person, then on the throne?
Yeah, you see, when God has given you the grace to lead, and when God has given you a very lengthy period to live in life, you have to look at your back, whatever you are doing, as she is one of the longest serving monarch after Queen Victoria, who reigned from 1837 to 1901. So she was the grand mother to the present Queen. And the present Queen reigned for about 77 decades. That is about a period of 70 years, from 1952 to 2002. So it's great. So
2022, right?
2022. She passed on the 8th September 2022. So I believe that she has done her best.
Okay.
She has done her best. So personally, she has done her best. Okay. See, we human beings, we are fallible. We are not infallible. So as far as we are concerned, whatever to as a leader, there are mistakes she might have, committed, and there are good things that she has done that history cannot forget. By the way, she allowed Nigeria to get independence in 1960. At least it was with her consent. So personally, I give her kudos for that. Now,
all right. Let us now look at the succession arrangement of, let's say, the ascension to the throne of British monarchy. Record shows that there have been 13 British monarchs since 1707. Although there were more than this actually when it was a separate kingdom. But in 1972, when there was a unification of the Great Britain, of England and the Scotland, to make them Great Britain, then from that point, King Anne became the first unified ruler of Great Britain. And since then till now, we have 13. That is, King Charles III now is the 13th person. So let us hear from you. What is the ascension arrangement of the British monarch like?
Yeah. You see, ascension means moving from the position you are to a higher level. Now, Prince Charles, now known as King Charles III, was the Prince of Wales.
Okay.
And he was first in the line of the monarchy.
Okay.
So he is the oldest, because he's 73 years, the son of the deceased, the son of the former queen. So he was in the line of the first line of the monarchy. So naturally, and according to the royal dictates, he immediately was ascended into the throne on the 8th of September after the demise of her mother. Now, he is no longer called Prince Charles. He's now called the King of the United Kingdom.
Okay, you say Prince of Wales.
He was
we are talking about the Queen of Great Britain, and the palace of the Queen is sited at Buckingham Palace, which is in London. Okay, so now...
Scotland.
Okay, Scotland.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you come about who becomes the king? How many royal families do we have in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, we have 12 royal families.
12?
12 royal families.
Okay, in how many kingdoms?
I can't be able to precisely say about the kingdom, but I know there are 12 royal families.
Okay, I do know of Scotland, I do know of Wales, I do know of Ireland, and yeah, things like that. So you said King Charles III now is from Wales.
He's from Wales.
Okay, so where is he going to stay and preside over the affairs of the kingdom?
In Britain, of course. Britain, of course.
Okay.
In the royal palace.
Okay.
You know, the late queen died. She died in Buckingham Palace. That is Balmoral Castle.
Okay.
In her summer residence in Scotland.
Okay.
So that's why she died. So certainly he is going to. There are royal houses or royal offices according to the British law, where the king is going to reside to operate his official assignments.
Okay. So it is not just in one place.
No.
You can decide to stay in any of the royal families, any royal palaces.
Yes, according to what is...
okay, before her death, where was she operating from?
Precisely, I believe she was operating from Balmoral Castle. That is the summer residence in Scotland.
In Scotland?
Yes, in
okay.
Scotland.
Not in London?
Yeah, not in
because
London.
as we speak now, her remains has been evacuated
yes,
to London.
To London,
and
yes.
the funeral rite is going to take place in London.
Yes, yeah, of course.
All right. It's okay. Let's move ahead now. The Queen of England is officially the head of state of 16 nations across the world. By 16 nations, I mean England, Great Britain is one. Then you have other nations such as Australia, Canada, Jamaica. A lot of them are still answerable to the Queen.
Yes.
Though they have their various national government with Prime Minister as the head of the government. But the Queen still to pretend over this nation. So now the concern now, do you see her exit as a potential cause of regime change in some of these countries?
Yes, let me take us to what transpired when she was alive and now that she's dead. Barbados, one of the countries that she heads as the head of that government. She was removed in November 2021. She ceased to be the head of state of that particular country. Now we have about 6 Caribbean countries. They are proposing to opt out, to move her equally to be the head of their countries. You understand? So because a lot of people are trying to see monarchy as outdated. We have Adam Bant, who is the leader of Green Party in Australia. He's already, after sending his condolence, he said, look, we are going to have a treaty with a new modern nation. So we want to have a republic. You understand? We also equally have Jamaican. We have the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs in Jamaica, who are making moves so that they can transit to become a republic. We equally have, there is a senior doctor with the University of Sydney, which is in the person of Cindy MC Greery. She specializes in constitutional and monarchy. Who also said that, look, a lot of people want to opt out. A lot of people, he believes in the nearby future. Certainly, a lot of countries will not recognize or will remove now the king, because formerly it was the queen. Now they remove the king from being their head. So it is an optional tax for the present Prince Charles III, whether he will be able to manage
King Charles.
Because because it has ignited, now after her death, it has ignited a lot of debate whether some of this country will allow him, sorry, so to preside, to pretend or to preside at the head of state of those various nations. So there are calls here and there that a lot of people want to opt out, just as I told you, the Barbados, who has already opted out in November in 2021. So many other countries too. You can see their reactions when the Prince and the Duke of Cambridge, who was in a tour to the Caribbean countries, there were a lot of rough protests saying that, look, your family have to apologize for the slavery. Your family have to pay reparation to countries that were affected. So a lot of people are beginning to raise a lot of eyebrow, a lot of negative comments, so that they want to be a republic on their own. So I believe it depends on what Charles is going to play. Charles III is going to play, because I could see that a lot of debate is on, so that most of the countries may likely opt out.
I was going through the list of succession to the throne, and I discovered that is a clique of very few individuals. If you look at it at the moment, those who are likely to succeed even after King Charles are just very few. Because even among King Charles' children, one is already out of the race.
King Harry.
Prince Harry.
Prince Harry.
Because of his choice of life.
And decided to marry a black lady.
Yes, he's already out of that race.
And so his kids has become a problem. Akia and Lilliput. Whether they are going to get a royal title or not.
So the whole thing now has been narrowed to Prince Williams and his descendants. So when you look at it, it's a very slim group of people who are meant to rule, and it has been like that. So how comes this few group of people have been holding almost more than half of the world to their under their control without resistance all this while?
You see, I want us to know that who are the royal families? The royal families are the spouse of the deceased monarch. Are the members of the reigning monarch. That is the children, the children, the sisters, the cousins to the reigning king. So it is that, and then you can only be a member of that family by descent, by religion, by legitimacy, and by gender. So based on that condition, based according to the common law of England, that is why it is restricted. If you don't belong to that clique or that family, you cannot, you cannot be, you cannot get power, or you cannot, ascend to the throne. Now we have 5. Now it's been mentioned from 1 to 5. So those are the people who are in line. For now, as I told you, the King Charles, who is the oldest, and then who now happens to ascend to the throne of her mother, of his mother. Yes. So that is how that's how it is being done. So he is equally the oldest. He's equally the richest, because he inherited a 685 years estate worth up to 1 billion naira. He is now one of the richest monarch in the world.
$1 billion?
$1 billion, yes, he inherited.
Okay.
Yes, 685 years estate, which he inherited. So, you see, issue of, even in Nigeria here, you see, issue of, leadership, traditional leadership, it sometimes is restricted to only few families, whether you belong to the ruling class or not. If you don't belong to the ruling class, it's not all about how many of you, the population. It depends whether you belong to the ruling class or a royal family or not. Okay. So if you belong to the royal family, that is it. If you don't belong to the royal family, you are out of.
Okay, in Nigeria and most parts of Africa, when you talk about royalty,
yes.
Traditional leadership,
yes,
it is most often restricted to the male gender. How comes in England it is not the same?
You see, we cannot compare the Africans with the white or the Western world. You see, even in Africa, there are different kind of culture. So that is their own culture. So we cannot question that. That is their own culture.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all right now. Quickly, her exit is also expected to affect the British pound. That is their currency there, changing from Queen's portrait to King Charles' portrait. And so, will such a change affect the strength of the pounds, which is arguably the world most, or unarguably the world most valuable currency?
It might, it might not.
Okay.
It might, it might not.
Okay, explain.
Yeah, it all depends on the, you see, it all depends on the economy. You see, it might and it might not. One, you see, right now, as I'm telling you, there is a 10-day money, and every activity has been suspended. So suspended. There is a budget, an emergency budget, which is supposed to be attended to. Because of her demise, it is that budget can only be attended to. It can only be attended to after her funeral. So presently now, Britain is facing a weakening economy by a double-digit inflation. So certainly double-digit inflation that may lead to recession. So I believe it might really affect the currency. See, there is a lot of inequality presently now in the United Kingdom. So there is a wave of struggle between the middle class and then the bourgeoisie. Okay. So it's so with a lengthy period of 10 days and the increase in holidays, which economic activities are supposed to take place, are not really taking place. So certainly it's going to affect the economy and the strength of the currency. And there is the energy crisis too, the energy crisis, and the cost of living in the United Kingdom is so absurd and so high. So it's really causing a lot of friction. So there are a lot of, so the possibility of strikes. Yes, the masses may likely go on strike because of the high rate of standard of living, and then the dichotomy between the poor and the rich. Okay. Just the way we are complaining in Nigeria today.
But do you see the prince, King Charles, as one who has the required dexterity, diplomacy, and ability to absorb the shocks and continue from where he's?
Yeah, for the little decisions he has taken, I want to say he may not, because he has taken a very hasty decision for of removing about 100 workers from the royal family.
Wow.
Now that the funeral has not even taken place, our people say there's a need for, this is a period of tears. So I expected that the King Charles is supposed not to take a hasty decision like that, of removing about 100, and most of them are crying, say, oh, what are we going to do? Today I read that a lot of people are beginning to feel that he might throw along the line. We have the first Charles, who was a tyrant and was assassinated. Okay. And then we have the second Charles II, who had a stroke. So there are a lot of misfeelings that the third Charles may toll the wheel of tyranny. Okay. So which we have seen. With Jesus, now the funeral has not taken place, and the 100 of the mother royal family has been removed. So that's quite unfortunate.
Well, quite unfortunate indeed. Okay, now let's narrow it back to Nigeria now. The implication of her exit to British-Nigerian relationship, especially that many young Nigerians, like you said earlier, view her as a symbol of colonial legacy, responsible for the nation's current leadership imbalance between North and South.
Yes.
So what do you think, what is the implication of that to our relationship? Will it continue strongly, or what will happen? Will Nigeria back out? Do you see that happening?
If you're one of the presidential candidate of is it Action Alliance, which is Owore, who opined that if he happens to win as the president in 2023, he will work hard to make sure that Nigeria is removed from the Commonwealth. You see, that is his own opinion. I believe that the relationship will continue to be like that because, you see, even at this post-colonial era, they wield a lot of influence in our country. So we cannot easily, escape their antics and tentacles.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's interesting. All right. 2 days before her demise,
yes,
she performed her last official assignment
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yes.
Which was the, receiving the new...
Appointing the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Liz Truss.
Liz Truss.
Yes.
That was her last assignment.
Yes.
And so, incidentally, Liz Truss is also the 3rd female British Prime Minister in history.
Yes.
And her selection was done so peaceful and seamless. What lessons does this portend to Nigeria, especially as we head towards 2023 election?
You see, the way we play politics in Nigeria is all about do or die. The leadership recruitment in Nigeria is flawed. Sometimes mediocres Nigerians have taken the stage of meritocracy. Instead of merit to take, preeminence, you find that mediocres, because of the advantage of the money they have, they induced people with the financial resources, and then most of the time the people that emerged are not. They are not leaders that can be able to take Nigeria from where we are now at a very lower ebb of our existence to where we can be able to progress. So I believe that if we want to choose leaders, we have to choose leaders based on competency, capacity, intellectual capacity, or political dexterity to be able to manage our diversity and then the kind of problem, myriads of problems that we are facing. So a leader that has the foresight, a leader that has the charisma to carry almost everybody along. The Nigeria has never been divided like this present period. So obviously, if we don't get it right this time around, Nigeria may be doomed forever.
That's serious. All right. Thank you so much. Viewer, in case you're just joining us, the program is Issues of the Moment on MBS TV. And I've been interacting here with Mr. Danladi Ayiwulu, who is a former lecturer with the Department of Fiscal Planning, Nasarawa State Polytechnic, or former Nasarawa State Polytechnic, now Issa Mustafa Agwe Polytechnic, Lafia. And so we'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation.
Dear esteemed viewer, you can't afford to miss your weekly most cherished current affairs program, Issues of the Moment on NBS TV. Issues of the Moment is a 1-hour live discussion and phone-in program that engages government functionaries, technocrats, captains of industries, public commentators and intellectuals on burning state and national matters of public interest. Join us every Saturday by 10 a.m. with your host, Godspower Ede, as we review, analyze and proffer solutions to the challenges of our society. Issues of the Moment live, engaging, analytical and revealing.
As I rightly said, I wasn't a lecturer, I was a non-academic staff, so I have to put the record straight for the public. Yeah, you see, I have what it takes to lead. I want what it takes to lead. I have the experience. Somebody who worked in an institution like Dr. Isa Mustafa Agwe Polytechnic.
Okay.
I have the experience. I have the political pedigree and the political dexterity to be able to lead. And I have the passion to lead my people.
Okay. So we would like to know exactly what is the what are you aspiring for?
Yeah, by the special grace of God, I'm aspiring for Natural State House of Assembly in Lafia North constituency.
Okay. Under which platform?
Yes, under Labour Party.
Okay. Nasarawa Lafia North constituency.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you intend to? What is your plans for the people?
Yeah, I have 2 or 3 categories of people, which, by the special grace of God, after I will give my best for the proper legislation, the best in the state assembly, and then 2, the first group of people are the most vulnerable in the society.
Okay, let's pick this caller. Hello. Hello. Good morning. I'm very fine. Good morning. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Hello. I can barely hear you. Muhammad who? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Okay, we've lost that caller. Go ahead, sir.
So I said the 3 groups. We have the youth, we have the women.
My name is
Okay,
my name
it's
is
still
Muhammad Haruna.
okay. Muhammad Haruna. Okay, can you? Where are you calling from?
Ungwar Lima.
I'm very Lafia. Okay, can you go ahead and is it a question or you want to make contribution?
I want to make contribution.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask a question. What?
Okay. What? Okay, we've lost that caller. Go ahead, sir.
See, as I said, I have the 3 groups I'm targeting. We have the women, we have the youth, and then we have the vulnerable. These are the aged, social security for the aged, and then I'm going to have a special a training program for skill acquisition for the youth and also the women. There's going to be a cooperative association to be able to help the women to embark on menial businesses to help them in their existence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There are quite a number of people that have, represented your constituency in the past since 1999 on a return to democracy. Quite a number of people have represented the constituency, and some of them are still want to come back, and a number of them. So why do you think that you are the best to come and represent that constituency, that you would wish to edge out those who have done it before?
Yeah, I'm the best because, as I told you, I have the experience. This is my first time of contested election. I contested election in 1999. I was the first PDP fly-bearer in 1999, which I lost to NPP, to later Omar Bwala. Okay. Secondly, since 1999, in this republic or this dispensation we find ourselves, when Omar Bwala from Shabu won the seat, he couldn't contest. He voluntarily spent 1 term and then Adamu Mazu from Lafia East came on board and spent 8 years from Adogi Ward.
Okay.
And after that, Mesa from Adogi was spent 4 years. And after that, the present House of Assembly member is from Arikia. He has spent 8 years. So a span of 20 years. And mind you, Lafia North constituency is made up of 2 development areas. We have Lafia East and we have Lafia North. And Lafia North has only 4 years in this dispensation. And even if you're able to put the time, the period of First and Second Republic and the Third Republic, it's just a period of, it is just 11 years. The President Aaron Kuje spent 4 years in 1979. We have Honorable Stephen Ambas spent 3 years, which is
2 years.
2 years, 2 years. 2 plus 4, which is 6. And then the late Omar Guala spent 4 years, which is 10. So 20 years, House of Assembly is residing in Lafia East. This is absurd. This is repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience. Why are we call ourselves brothers? Then, you have the opportunity. You use your demographic advantage because you have 4 wards, we have 2 wards, and then you will not allow your brother also to participate. That is not fair. That is not equity, and that is not justice. Some of the crisis that which has been exacerbated in the country today is lack of injustice. So if we don't address this imbalance, one side is only enjoying the dividends of democracy and then they are occupying the position. Presently now, the member, the candidate for APC is from Ashige Ward, and the candidate for PDP is from Asake Ward. If they happens to win, they are going to spend 24 years. And if they are going to do 2 tenures, there's going to be 28 years. How do you reconcile this?
Okay, but when we were talking earlier about the emergence of Liz Truss as the British Prime Minister, one particular thing you talked about is that leadership should be based on competence and not on sentiment. This time around, what if the people from that axis have always presented competent leaders?
I don't think anybody can beat my records. I stand tall among all my equals because of my political pedigree. None of them can stand me. See, I've worked, I've now resigned, I have that experience. I have contested election more than 4 times. I have that experience. I was formerly the Councillor of Works. I have that experience. I was formerly the Councillor of Education and Social Services. I have that experience. So I don't think any one of them can challenge me. I have what it takes to move Lafia North to an enviable height, if given that opportunity. I have the capacity, I have the intellectual capacity, I have the political security, I have all it takes. So I believe that if the people trust me and they believe I can lead, you should try me. And after all, you see, I talked about injustice. Power cannot reside in one place. So David Easton said, they say, politics is all about who get what, when, and how.
Okay, let's pick this caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Adamu Muhammad.
Okay, from where?
From Lafia.
Okay, what do you have to say? Is it a question or a contribution?
It's a question, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it this very Queen Elizabeth? I should give up the Nigeria.
Hello? Wow. I can't really get what he's trying to say. Anyway,
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, as I was saying, I stand tall among my equals, and I believe that if equity is relegated to the background, it's not right at all. It is illogical, as I've told you. Okay. Very, very illogical. It does not hold water for one side to control. Don't you mean that the whole of people of Lafia North don't have competent people? You don't have people that can lead? Oh, look at it this way. The North, we have about 90 states. The South, they have 17 states. Buhari spent 8 years. And then the South, they are saying it is their own turn. And they are not only talking about the competency alone. It is their own turn, and they are going to produce the most competent person from the South to lead. So if they happens to relinquish that position, for us, the best candidate from Lafia North will emerge.
But politics, they say, is a game of one, number, and secondly, diplomacy or lobbying. Don't you think the best way to address this issue should be going to your brothers and say, okay, see, this thing belongs to us together. We have the same father, it's just that we have different mother. Can we do it this way? Is there no way you can do it?
You see, politics is all about inclusion, political participation, and then give and take.
Okay.
If they could only consider their size that they have forward, doesn't mean that one day none of them will contest for House or Rep, none of them will contest for senatorship or governorship. So we then now say, oh, we are our demographic this thing is so low, it's so small that they cannot vote for us. So politics sometimes I believe it is a game of number, and at the same time it is about give and take.
All right, let's pick this caller. Hello. 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 Who is speaking here? Hello. Don't think this person is with us. All right. If that be the case,
Yes.
do you think you have the right platform to challenge this mega party, PDP and APC, in this election? You say you contest under Labour Party.
Yes.
Does your party have the required, muscles, energy to challenge them?
Yes, I would like to take you to the memory lane. Before PDP was the party.
Okay, let's. Hello. Hello. Go ahead, sir.
Before, PDP ruled this country for 19 years, for 16 years. And then APC now for what? 8 years. So how did APC challenge PDP? So Nigerians should look for competence. Nigerians should look for capacity. Nigerians should look for somebody that can be able to deliver the goods, whether tangible or intangible goods.
Okay.
So the platform does not really matter. Who drives the platform? I have the charisma. I can drive the platform.
Okay.
So it's not all about the big names. Let me assure you, most of these big names, big party, they are going to be disgraced in 2023. The eyes of Nigerians are more open. People are more enlightened. People are more informed than before. Unlike before, when you get a ticket, whether from APC or PDP, you're already there. Let them go and sleep whether they are not going to be challenged. They are going to be challenged, my brother. Go and look for vote. Tell people what you have. Tell people what you can do for them by the time. And then they should hold leaders responsible when they are elected into political positions.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from? Wow. Seems to have issues with our callers today. Okay. Okay. If that be the case, let's. Okay. Now, elections are fast approaching.
Yes.
As we speak today, we have just about 5 months.
Yes.
To presidential election.
Presidential election. Of
then
course.
maybe 1 month to, 6 months to the gubernatorial election.
Of course.
So, what would be your advice to Nigerians, Nigerian electorates, on the choice of candidates between competence and sentiment? Because we seem to have that challenge right now. A lot of people are canvassing support for candidates based on where they came from, my tribe, my region, my religion, my party, and not minding who has what to offer.
You see, the common characteristics of the third world countries, their common characteristics is that they base their choice of election based on primordial sentiments. Issues that are mundane, not issue-based, not based on objectivity. So I believe that Nigerians, we have passed through a lot of excruciating pains over this period. Nobody does not understand what is happening in this country. Issue of insecurity, high cost of living, and a lot of imbalances. If Nigeria again, we decide to vote for leaders who are not going to deliver, they are on their own. So I believe we must choose leaders that can be able to deliver. We have to remove the sentiment of religion. We have to remove the sentiment of region. We have to remove the sentiment of tribe. Those things alone cannot perform. It is only competence, only competence and capacity that can be able to give Nigerians what they want. So if we don't put those things at the back of our side, we have tried all those factors. We have tried religion, we have tried region, we have tried ethnicity, we have tried it is my turn. We have tried all those things and it has failed. So Nigerians should shine their eyes and do what is right. Even though the ruling class, they have impoverished the masses in such a way that they are going to dangle the carrot. That is talking about financial inducement. Because people are vulnerable to financial inducement. When you give them a little, they will say, oh, I've taken my own. Not knowing that they are selling their birthright. Israel has sold his birthright up to today, he has not collected it. So Nigerians must make sure. Why is it that they will not give you money only during election? They are supposed to give you money if they really mean well for you. But the day of election, they will bring one and vote for me because I'm giving you money. You are selling your birthright. You may not reclaim it in your lifetime. So Nigerians must open their eyes very well and vote for leaders that can deliver, irrespective of religion, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of region. So we should vote based on competency, period. Anything short of that, we are doomed.
Okay, finally, maybe the greatest challenge we have ahead of 2023 is that the three major ethnic groups in this country have candidates that they are flying in the next election. And they are in the three major political parties. Atiku from the north, Tinubu from the west, and Peter Obi from the southeast. So how can you avoid the issue of sentiment vote when every tribe seems to be presenting a candidate?
As I've said, those people who are not well informed, they are going to vote based on sentiment. Some are going to vote Peter Obi because he's an Igbo man from the east. Some are going to vote Tinubu because he's a Yoruba man from the southwest. And some are going to vote Tinubu because he's a House of Fulani man, Atiku, sorry, from the north. But I have said, we must push those primordial sentiments behind us and vote for competence. That's all, for capacity, for good governance, and for transparency and accountability.
Okay.
That is all. That is all. Anything short of that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Danladi Ayiwulu is a former staff of Issa Mustafa Agwe Polytechnic. We sincerely appreciate you for the time you've given unto us in this program.
Thank you for having me. The pleasure is mine.
All right, and I think that is how far we go on today's edition of the program, Issues of the Moment, and we'll beg to wrap it up from here. First, we discuss the exit, the demise of Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain, and the political development ahead of 2023 elections. And we sincerely thank you for staying tuned and watching the program. We'll be back again next week with another interesting edition of the program, Issues of the Moment. On behalf of my guest in the studio, my name is Gospel Ede, saying enjoy your weekend. Thank you. Wow.